Welcome back to Duel Videos. This time we are following the new box, Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel GX Midterm Paradox. Oh, wait a minute.
5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, guys? It's Yugi Bros, and welcome to a brand new season of Speed Duels. This time around, the new box out is the Midterm Destruction box, and we are going to dive wholeheartedly into decks that benefit from that box. So our opponent is on a Jaden skill, we are on a Zane skill. We can see ours, so let's explain ours first. The new Cyberdarks scheme out of the box says flip this card over when you activate it. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Return one face up or face down Cyberdark monster you control to the hand, reveal it if it was face down. And if you do immediately after this skill resolves, you can normal summon one Cyberdark monster. So it allows you to reboot Cyberdarks essentially. We'll get into why that's relevant in a second. The second effect is once per duel, send a monster card in your spell and trap zone equipped to a Cyberdark fusion monster to the grave, then equip one monster your opponent controls to that monster. Cyberdark fusion monsters gain attack equal to the original attack of the monster equipped by this skill. Our opponent has to flip this on the beginning of the duel. Welcome to Straight Outta Neo Space. Yeah, this is definitely a pun on a different thing. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon Elemental Hero Neos from your hand. Also for the rest of the turn, you can non-special summon except for Elemental Heroes and Neospatian monsters. And during the end phase, if a fusion monster you control is returned to the extra deck, you can special summon one Elemental Hero Neos from your deck. This is a pretty cool skill. It kind of makes Neos a Cyber Dragon if it's in your hand. And if your fusion monster, aka Neos Fusion, is returned to the extra deck at the end phase, you still get to replace it with Vanilla Neos. So, you still get board presence at the end of the game. We like to go second. They're going to start out here with an Elemental Hero Blazeman. They're not going to use the first effect, but they will use the second effect to dump Elemental Hero Neos. So for the turn, Blazeman would gain its attribute and its attack defense. But they're just going to simply pass on that, so no need to edit the stats. We're going to draw into Cyberdark Cannon, new card from the box. This one says, if it's sent while equipped to a monster, you can draw a card. That is not once per turn, by the way. The following effects are, however, the first is you can discard this card, which we're about to do here, to add a Machine Cyberdark from deck to hand. And the other effect is during damage calc, if the monster equipped with this card battles, you can send a monster from your deck to the grave. Claw says from extra deck to grave, so now Cannon gives the deck more Foolish Burial capabilities. And of course, there's a general search card as well. So we're going to search here, then we're going to normal summon the Keel, use Keel's effect to equip Cannon, because for some reason these are dragons, even though they clearly look like machines. That will boost our Keel to 2400. We're going to set both Book of Moon and MST, new inclusion. I don't know why this is at 3. I expect us to get a list soon. If they keep this at 3 for a list, and there's definitely a good chance they will, because obviously the box is brand new. I mean, if they want everyone to have 3 MSTs and have no other use for any of the other spell trap bait in the game, aside from random side deck options, okay, I guess we're going with that. We're going to go to battle phase and have Keel attack the Blazeman. We're going to have Cannon send Jinzo. Now, I know you're thinking, why Jinzo? What? There's plenty of things we could. Just let me cook, alright? We're going to send Jinzo, then we're going to have Keel swing over this, where they're going to take 12, then Keel's effect will do another 300 before we pass back to our opponent. They're going to draw for turn. Oh, I guess I could show both hands here. Oh, crazy. Whoa, new cards. They're going to shuffle it up here. They're going to activate the skill, basically. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it activates, but it does let you special summon the Neos. So Neos will come out here. We'll let that go. Then they're going to activate a new card called O Oversoul, which targets an Elemental Hero monster in the grave and special summons it. So you guessed it, another Elemental Hero Neos. They're going to then set a Hero Blast, normal summon this Grand Mole. Grand Mole, another inclusion to the game that bounces both it and the thing it battles during the damage step. Really, really good card here. They're going to swing with Grand Mole. We're going to Book of Moon that because we want our Cannon to resolve here. They're going to then have Neo swing in. We're going to take 100. By the way, this card just says when the monster battles, so Cannon will trigger again, and we're going to send Cyberdark Horn. Reason being is now we have Horn, Keel, and Edge live for this Cyberdark Impact in hand. Then we're going to take 100. Then Cannon's effect triggers because it was sent while equipped to a monster that lets us draw a card. So we draw into a Foolish Burial. They're going to have the other Neo swing in here. Unfortunately, we're going to have to bite that. before they pass back to us. In end phase, we're going to MST their Hero Blast, another new card. Targets an elemental hero monster in the grave, adds that target to the hand. Then if your opponent controls any monsters with attack less than or equal to the target's attack, it destroys one of them. Really good, doesn't target, good spot removal, and it gives you a free card back as well. And in this deck, as we know, this is just a Cyber Dragon. We're going to draw into another Mystical Space Typhoon. Currently, that's not going to do us any good. However, we have all the options for Cyberdark Impact. So we will fuse both the Keel, the Horn, and the Edge from hand into the deck to special summon. There we go. To special summon good old Cyberdark Dragon. For those that don't remember, this card gains 100 attack for every monster in your grave and has the same summon effect that the rest of the Cyberdarks have, equipping a dragon. However, it's not restricted to level 3 or lower. We're going to equip the cannon nonetheless because I believe that is our only target. Yes, we cannot equip the Jinzo. So it will go to 26 and then it'll gain another 100 for the Jinzo in the graveyard. We're going to then use the Cyberdark Scheme once per duel effect that lets us send the equip to the grave, target one of their monsters and equip it to it and gain its attack. Then cannon, because it was sent, triggers and lets us draw a card. That's a really good draw. So our Cyberdark Dragon is now 3700 attack. We're going to then, because we didn't normal summon yet, normal summon the Cyberdark Edge, use its effect equipping the cannon once again. That will put it at 24. We will set this MST before going to battle phase, and we will have Cyberdark Dragon swing over the Neos. They're going to take a whopping 1200 points of damage. We're then going to have Edge swing into the Grand Mole. Keep in mind, Grand Mole will not trigger here. It says at the start of the damage step. It is still face down at the start of the damage step. Then we will trigger Cannon's effect, and this is why we sent the Jinzo. We're going to send Jinzo Returner. This card says, if it's sent to the graveyard, and it can miss timing, so it has to be the last, it has to be chain 1. If it's sent to the grave, you can target a Jinzo in the grave, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. Relevance, right? So we get a free Jinzo on the field. Also, this is all triggering in the damage step, so your opponent has limited options if they did have responses. We're going to bring out the Jinzo. This will die off the attack from Edge, and Jinzo will attack for game. When Cannon got announced in the set, I immediately saw so many different things we could do. The fact that you now have multiple Foolish Burials in Cannon means that you don't have to max out on Foolish Burial anymore. Not that you always did, but now we get to play other cards as well on the 2 list, which is really cool. Like Jinzo, for example. We're going to start out here with Cannon. They're going to let us go first. This deck is not good going first. I'll just be honest with you guys right now. We're going to set MST and pass. Yes, we could have set Returner. That's probably the play. We could have summoned the Edge and gave it the equip, but I usually like to use those for attacking if I don't have another guaranteed one on the field. But, you know, we're like, yeah, if they have it, they have it. I don't think they're going to have it. Well, they start out here with reinforcements of the army to grab a Blazeman. They're going to shuffle it up here, and then they're going to normal summon Elemental Hero Prisma, another new card out of the box. Says once per turn you can reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck, then send one of the fusion materials whose name is mentioned on that card from your deck to the grave, and this card's name becomes that monster's name until the end phase. They're going to reveal a Neos fusion, but Dueling Book's being weird, so we're not going to see that part. They're going to send a Elemental Hero Neos to the grave, then they're going to activate Polymerization from the hand, fusing both Blazeman and Elemental Hero Neos. This could make the Nova, or it could make this other new card out of the box called Elemental Hero Brave Neos. Believe it or not, this doesn't contact fuse to make it, which is odd. It takes a Neos and a level 4 lower effect monster, which we did use with Blazeman here. Its effect says it gains 100 attack for each Neospatian and hero monster in your graveyard, so currently it will be at 2800. It also says that when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Elemental Hero in its text. So they are going to set this Book of Moon, go to battle phase, have Prisma swing for 1700. Unfortunately, we have only MST. And this is why we should have set the Jinzo Returner. That's just straight up game. I got cocky. I wanted to use Returner again for the thing it was supposed to be used for. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. And so, to pay for that action, we draw it in our third opening hand here, which is actually pretty dead. It's unfortunate. They're going to go first, though. We did elect to go second. They're going to Blazeman, this time using the first effect, getting the Polymerization. You can only use one of the 2 effects of Blaze per turn, and they're going to pass right on that. We draw into Foolish Burial, which is not going to net us anything, so we're just going to set both our Book of Moon and our Jinzo Returner. This time we're going to set them and pass to them. They're going to flip their skill. Activate reinforce. Oh, sorry. This skill was supposed to be up. That's why they flipped it. Activate reinforcements of the army, searching a Prisma. They're going to then activate Polymerization, sending both the Neos and the Blazeman. This one, once again, will bring out the Brave Neos. It is at 27. And they are going to go to battle phase, have Brave attack into our defense. We're going to book a moon that because we don't want them to get free cards. Also, they can't get over our monster with just Blazeman. They're going to swing in a returner who has 14 defense, so they will take 200 and have to pass there. We have Foolish Burial, so we will dump Claw to the graveyard, there we go. We're going to normal the Edge. We're going to use this effect, equipping the Claw to the monster, go to battle phase, have it run over this fusion. We need this thing off the field. Then we'll have Claw's effect trigger, sending Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. Another inclusion thanks to Jim. Unfortunately, we'll be using it to our own benefit. The point we care about here is in the graveyard, it says you can banish it from the grave, target a monster on the field, destroy it. Now, we don't have a main phase 2, so this is worse in speed than it is in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's still spot removal for the future. The downside here is we don't send a dragon to the grave to boost our own deck, but extra spot removal never seems like a bad idea, and I don't think they're going to OTK us through 2 of our monsters. They're going to draw into EN Shuffle. This is an interesting card that says you shuffle an elemental hero or Neospatial monster into the deck, and if you do, special summon an elemental hero or Neospatial from your deck with a different name. Then you can banish this card from the grave in the same turn if you would like to shuffle from your grave into the deck either an elemental hero monster, Neospatial monster, or elemental hero Neos, and then draw 1 card. You're going to normal summon the Prisma, activate Blazeman's effect, sending a Neos to the graveyard, copying its attack and defense and attribute. And now because of that, Blazeman is stronger than the Edge. They're going to have Prism swing over the returner. I think that was their misplay because they're going to have Blaze then swing over Edge. The Claw will bite it instead. The Claw actually can't trigger here. We don't have a target for it, but it does say if it sends a grave, you target a Cyberdark in your grave and add it to your hand. They should have had Prisma then swing over the Edge here. Because they didn't do that, we now have the ability to use the other Cyberdark Scheme effect. We're going to activate the Scheme, use its effect, return a Cyberdark we control to the hand, then immediately after it resolves, normal summon a Cyberdark, so we'll use its effect to equip back the Claw. We still now haven't used our normal summon, though I don't think we will because we don't have another target in the grave for our Cyberdark Horn. We will activate Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, choose the Prisma, destroy the Prisma. We will then go to battle phase, have Edge swing over the Blazeman, have Claw trigger once again, and while we could send a Dragon this time, it's not going to be a 3 or lower for a Horn, so we might as well just keep the consistency going, send another Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, before swinging over for the monster from 1200. They're going to draw into Sakuretsu Armor, guys. Oh, it's been so long. This card, new card out of the box, says when your opponent declares an attack, opponent's monster declares an attack, rather, target the attacking monster, destroy the target. So, Widespread Ruin doesn't target, destroys the monster with the biggest attack. Sakuretsu Armor does target, but destroys the thing that is attacking. A little bit more leeway with that. They're going to special summon Neos, because they can through their skill, setting both their cards in hand before having Neos swing over our monster. Again, our Claw bites the dust. We take 100. But unfortunately, it leaves the Edge on the field to then be rebooted with our skill, so we'll bounce it, normal summon it back, use its effect once again, equipping the Claw. Rinse and repeat. This skill is really, really good. So it allows you to not just have your Cyberdarks be dead after they get attacked once, because they just sit there at 800, and it's really relevant for that reason. We're going to have Fossil Warrior once again, blow up the Neos this time, set the Horn this time because we do have the extra normal summon. We're going to go to battle phase and immediately fire off this anti-magic arrows. I finally found a deck relevant for this card. At the start of the battle phase, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, neither player can activate spell traps or their effects. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this activation. In this deck, this is insane because you can just swing the entire game. Now, you're not winning this turn, and for some reason, we set Horn rather than putting it in attack mode. We would have just had game right here. I don't remember what the reason in our head was for outside of, well, we don't have it equipped, so we just have to set it without thinking, hey, we have anti-magic arrows, we'll be fine. Unfortunately, we don't do that, so we set the Horn. We're going to use Claw's effect and damage step, sending Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. For those that don't know, this is the old combo. You put Blue Eyes Ultimate in the graveyard, and then you equip Cyberdark Dragon to it, since Cyberdark Dragon doesn't have a restriction on the dragon it equips level-wise. And then he's just big, and that's really good for anti-magic arrows. They're going to top deck into Grand Mole, but here's the problem, okay? Grand Mole by itself does not answer this board. They only have 200 life points. So what they're going to do instead is activate the EN Shuffle and hope to God, pray to God, hope something magically happens. They're going to shuffle this into the deck to special summon out Alias, since all 3 copies of Neos are in the graveyard, so Alias isn't going to do them any good, and they can't put it in attack. Well, I guess they could put it in attack mode because Edge has the ability to attack directly. But unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. They would just lose on the spot next turn, except maybe the Sakuretsu would put them in. I understand the whole, like, they don't know if they're going to win, so they'll just put it in defense to be safe. Then they're going to use the end shuffle. Shuffle Neos back into the deck, shuffle and draw. Oh my god, literally a miracle. Miracle Fusion, everyone. Fusion summons an elemental hero fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard. They are going to banish Neos and the Blazeman to summon. You would be wrong. They don't actually summon Brave Neos, they summon Nova Master. And to this, I also think Brave Neos was the play, because Brave Neos would have been at 2,900 and gotten you any spell trap that lists Elemental Hero Neos in its text. Instead, they go Nova Master, which does say if it's fusion summoned, it destroys a monster by battle, you can draw a card. But I'd rather a guaranteed search than a singular card. However, they are going to trigger that here. We're going to draw into Cyberdark Cannon. Use its effect, searching Cyberdark Keel. Then we will normal summon the Cyberdark Keel, use its effect, equip the cannon. We will go to battle phase. We will have Edge try to swing directly for game. They have the Sakuretsu for that. However, we have Keel. Keel will destroy the Alias. They'll obviously have no response for that. Cannon will let us dump another card. We'll dump a Cyber Dragon. This will be explained in a second. And then, of course, Keel's effect will burn them for the final 300 for game. Anyways, for the deck, and I love this, down here you can actually preset what ban list you want to show, so we're going to show the current most speed duel one, so it actually has the correct numbers, which is awesome. We have 1 Cyber Dragon, followed by 3 Cyberdark Cannon. This is obviously the new search card, so you're going to play 3 of it. 2 Cyberdark Claw. We play 2 instead of 1 because you can't search it with Cannon, because Cannon unfortunately has to search a machine Cyberdark. And even though this is dead, the second one you resolve because you're only playing 1 impact, I don't think it's awful. Like, the whole point is you want to see these as soon as possible to go into these, but like, I tried 1 of this at first and it just didn't feel like enough, so 2 is a lot more adequate. 2 Edge, 2 Horn, and 1 Keel. Keel is the worst of the 3. I don't feel like you need more than 1. You could opt to play 2 just to have a bit more consistency in the fact that we do have 2 fusion spells instead of 1, but regardless, I feel like you're going to swing the game your way. You don't want to open too many of these pieces. 1 Jinzo and 1 Jinzo Returner, as for the reasons you saw in this video. Also, because we can only play 2 on the 2 ofs list, we are playing 1 Foolish and 1 Jinzo for that. And the same goes for the 1 Cyber Dragon and the 2 Book of Moon rather than 3 Book of Moon, because it is the 3 of the 3 ofs list. Foolish Burial, like I said, can dump almost every single thing in this deck to make it relevant. Cyberdark Impact still works for the claw play. Overload Fusion, we play this as a 1 of because not only can you use it to bring out Cyberdark Dragon by banishing the 3 pieces from the grave, you can also use it with Cyber Dragon to make Chimera Tech Over Dragon as a late game push play, which I've never had a problem with, and you can't really be mad about this. If you open this, you're gonna special summon it as always, but if you don't and you have an Overload Fusion or you want to dump it at some point, you have the ability to dump it with Cannon right away. So it's almost always live. Now, I understand this is your last-ditch effort card because it sends everything on the field to the grave when you summon it, but this card can get real big and close out games very quickly. So I definitely am for the Cyber Dragon and the Overload Fusion as a last-ditch effort play. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon in the main, followed by the 1 on the side, and 2 Book of Moon to round out the order. In the side deck, just to stall a little bit more, we are playing 2 Sphere Karibo for the decks that want to go off just as fast as we do. The 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon, like I said, this is going to be played in everything going forward. 1 Anti-Magic Arrows, you could bump this to 2. The thing is, the deck's very consistent, but I do have an argument for the second one. This card is nuts, obviously, in this deck. Especially when you have something like Cyberdark Dragon equipped to Blue Eyes Ultimate on the field, you can just swing the game that turn. Anti-Magic Arrow says they ain't stopping you unless they have a monster effect like Sphere Karibo. 1 Emergency Provisions. We didn't see this in the replays, but the theory is here. You send any number of spell and traps you control to the grave to gain 1,000 for each sent, except this, obviously. But you could trigger these 2 effects off of it, as well as gaining life points to survive another turn, so to speak. It's a different option over just another Sphere Karibo, but I do like this card, especially in time, because that does still come up in speed, sadly. And then Water Offerings to the Doomed. This is kind of like your Jack-of-all-trades slot. It could be whatever you want. It could be the 2nd Anti-Magic Arrows, it could be another Provisions, it could be anything else regarding to the format. I do think DD Crow right now is just a really good card to be playing because it just kind of hits almost everything relevant. So definitely could have been that, but we just elected to throw in the offering since we only have one. And then in the extra deck, since all of these are actually relevant, 2 Cyberdark Dragons, since we can theoretically make it twice, 1 Chimera Tech, since we can theoretically make it once, 2 Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, as you saw in the video, it did come up, but also it's just convenient to have multiples. You never needed a second Blue Eyes Ultimate. It was kind of just to add an extra dragon to the grave, but that's it. And then the 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate, like I said, just because you want to build up your Cyberdark Dragon huge. But now that we have the effect with our skill that takes an opponent's monster, we don't always need the big beefy beat stick with Blue Eyes Ultimate. You can equip one of these and then send these to the grave, equip the opponent's monster, and then trigger their effects. So extra utility for the deck. I do think all in all this deck has a lot more going for it than it used to. I never loved the other Cyberdark skill. I think how it worked was cool, but the 1,000 or less every single time to search was a little pushy, and the fact that you didn't have a whole lot of defense already meant you had to play cards like Cosmic Cyclone to proc it, and I just don't think that's really healthy for the deck that doesn't have a whole lot of defense. But now Cyberdark Scheme definitely putting in more effort, definitely can do a lot more. Also, if you guys don't know, you can actually go over here now, choose skill cards, and actually look up whatever you need to check it. You can put it in the deck. You can also just drag it to the deck and then tell the deck you want it to set it for that. It's just a really cool way, and now you don't have to go to their old data page to look at how skills work or what they are, what they do, and you can just look at the deck directly. But guys, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you like, love, or hate this deck list? Would you make any changes? I'm always open to more options, so hit me up and let's have the conversation.
For more amazing Speed Duel content, subscribe to Yugi Bros. It's time to duel!